with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak, because they knew him. Rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and on finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go on to the nearby villages, that I may preach there also. For this purpose have I come." So he went into their synagogues, preaching and driving out demons throughout the whole of Galilee. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Most of you know that I go pretty late at night here. At the end of the day, my light burns bright in the parking lot, which is pretty dark, and I'm pounding away at emails. Yes? Yes? Trying to wrap up the day. And long story short, a couple weeks ago, I'm there, I'm pounding away, doing my work at my desk, and I see this person walking back and forth and back and forth. Now it's winter, it's 11 o'clock at night, it's really not the right time to be walking in the parking lot. So curiosity kills the cat, yes? So I get up, I go outside, "Can I help you?" Answer? No. Are you looking for something? I want to go into the church. Beautiful. Now, she's an early 20-something, sparks my imagination that 11 o'clock at night, she's walking outside, she wants to go into the church. So I say something like, "Is there anything going on, something I can help you with?" Answer? No. All right. So I'm going to take her into the church, right? So I'm walking her to, and honestly, I sparked her imagination a little bit, and as we're walking through the parking lot to the church, you know, she's got problems with her parents, right? And I told her, it's really hard to raise parents, yes? And then she went on to say that school's really, really tough, and then the boyfriend, I should say the former boyfriend, broke up with her, right? So I said to her, "That's a lot, right? Do you want to talk about that?" Answer? No. And she said, "I just want to go into church to hear what God has to say." Lovely, right? Open up the door, let her in, go back to my desk. I'm pounding away because I want to go to bed, right? And I'm working, I'm very focused on just pounding out these emails, and like nowhere, give me a heart attack. Boom, boom, boom on my window. Oh my God, right? I am at the ceiling. I'm coming down from the ceiling, right? So I get up, I go outside, everything okay? Just want to let you know that God spoke to me, everything's fine. Oh my God, right? Beautiful, lovely, right? So beautiful, beautiful thought. And you think about like all the things she could have said, like, you know, even in the conversation, and all the places she could have came. Where'd she go? She came to church, right? She wanted to hear what God had to say, right? And along the way in the conversations, she certainly could have thrown her parents under the bus. She could have said miserable, nasty things about her teachers. And the boyfriend, oh my God, he was roadkill, yes? But she didn't say any of those things, did she? All she wanted to do is hear what God would have to say. Beautiful, lovely, yes? And oh, we should be so wise ourselves. And if you can understand that story, then you can understand the scriptures today. Go to Job, right? Oh my gosh, crabbing, complaining, I could use other words as well, right? Everything is a burden. Everyone's terrible, and just life is miserable, yes? Go to St. Paul, like, he starts off like, I got this obligation, I got this burden, I got this duty, I'm like stuck in the mud, right? but go to the Psalms and to the Gospel. That when we turn to the Lord, it is the Lord who heals the brokenhearted. It is the Lord who wants to grasp us by our hand, no matter what we're going through, and raise us up and lift us up. And St. Paul, as he walks through that second reading, comes to realize that every day we have a choice. We can be like Job, or like Paul at the beginning, and be stuck in our miseries, grumble, complain, and throw people under the bus like roadkill. Or we can turn to the Lord. And in turning to the Lord, all of us, we should be so wise. Go to the Gospel. When they were hunting down Jesus, everybody's looking for you. Oh, that should be our problem today. Right? Think of all the places we turn and all the things we say and do. And we should have the wisdom like this 20-something or like the people in the Gospel. Everybody is looking for you. That would be God's greatest problem, blessing, and that would really be the help to almost every one of our problems. As we walk into the week, listen to your language. Is it more like Job or more like God? Listen to your conversations. Is it more like Job, grumbling, complaining, roadkill all over the place? Or is it more like God? And if it's more like Job, then the wise person would turn to God. Secondly, last night we had a wonderful, wonderful World Marriage Day celebration. We had about 300 couples. It was great, right? And it got me thinking about marriage, so next weekend is World Marriage Sunday, and the following week is Ash Wednesday, which is also Valentine's. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm thinking, when was the last time, if you're married, when was the last time your kids or grandkids heard you talk passionately and powerfully about your spouse and about your marriage? Think about that for a moment. When was the last time the grandkids and the kids heard you talk about how much you love their mother or father, grandmother, grandfather, and the joy that you find in married life? And as we get ready, in the next 10 days for all these Valentine's things, your spouse certainly doesn't need a sentimental, sappy card that you don't really believe. What they do need is to hear, deep in your heart, not the criticism and the crabbing, which we do very well, but they need to hear how much you love them and how much you love to be married. And your kids and grandkids, they need to hear that you love their mother, father, grandmother, grandfather. They really authentically do. And when was the last time they heard that out of your mouth? And then lastly, in the gospel today, even Jesus stepped out of his busyness, if you will, and went to pray. Tonight from 7 o'clock to tomorrow at 7 o'clock, we're going to do 24 hours of adoration. Can you stop off your path for 5 or 10 minutes and step into the church and spend some time, much like that early 20-something, hearing what God has to say? God is the one that heals the brokenhearted. God is the one that can give us the wisdom, grace we need. God is the one that can give us a peace so that we can build a more peaceful world. Can you stop for 5 or 10 minutes and simply spend some time with the Lord? And that brings me back to the story of this 20-something. Beautiful, powerful, right? I just want to go and hear what God has to say. Boom, boom, boom. God spoke to me. Everything is fine. Young and old, 7 o'clock tonight, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Can we turn to the Lord? who heals the brokenhearted and gives us the grace, wisdom, and peace.
Those who eat this bread shall live and never die. Bread